Now we're going to look at how you create a Joomla website from a SmartAddons template. Here we are at the SmartAddons site and we're in the Joomla templates, and we're going to work with this particular template. This is the SG iMovie template, and before we build it, let's look at what the template really looks like. So this template is designed for showing off movies, like a company who actually sells movies, makes movies. And so it starts on top with a slideshow that has display selection. This is just one of the options that has these diagonal blocks. You can control all kinds of parameters in this. As you scroll down, you start to see like movie posters, and then there's this thing that they call background video, which is video playing in the website that doesn't have player controls. And by player controls, I mean the controls you see on like YouTube videos. Then you have more thumbnails, which are organized in categories and sub information about them on the side. And it continues down with even more organized differently. Then you have a video player, and these are basically thumbnails, and as you click on the thumbnails, it brings up different video clips that you can play. And this is very configurable. And then your final thumbnails on the bottom info, and this is a very configurable space. In this case, it's acting like what you call a bottom menu. So we're going to build a site based on this template. And so one of the first things we're going to do is we're going to log into the FTP account on GoDaddy, and this is where you make a space for where the site will be installed. So in the FTP client, in this case it's FileZilla, here we are in the FTP account. I'm just getting this within the tutorial recording space. And when you log in to the GoDaddy account, it takes you to the root. All websites have to be created within what's called the public _HTML folder. And so in here, if you want to make a website, you need to create a folder. The website that we're going to create is in this folder, VTG7. To create a folder, you basically right-click in here, and you select Create Folder, and you name your folder. We've named the folder VTG7. Now we're in the GoDaddy account, and we need to create a database for this website. So we'll go to the products, My Products. And so the different elements of the web hosting account are accessible from here. What we want to get to is something called the C panel. A C panel is a common tool space in most web hosting accounts today. And so in the web hosting tab, we'll click on Manage All. And click on Manage. And so this brings up the C panel. See right here, it says C panel hosting. And there are a couple things we're going to want to do in here. We're going to create a database, which is what we'll use this for, MySQL database wizard. However, we're going to start now by going into the file manager. This is pretty much like the file manager you see on your computer, except when you click on this file manager and you click Go, it's taking you onto the web server. And so remember, we made that folder VTG7, so we double click into here and it's empty. What we're going to put into here is the template that we got from the SmartAddons site. let's visit the SmartAddons site again. We'll close the template. And in the SmartAddons site, in the downloads, Joomla templates, let's go to the iMovie. That's the template we're looking at. And I just want to draw your attention to something that each of the templates have, and it affects how we build sites. This is the file for just the template itself, meaning the layout and where the images would go, but doesn't contain any images. It's just where they would go, and how the video modules are configured. That's what's contained in this file. In this file, what you have is what's in here, plus the whole Joomla application already configured with the template and all of the demo images. This is what we'll be installing. And by the way, that includes some extensions, which means basically software that extends what Joomla can do. Those extensions alone would be in this download. So this is called a quick start package. And this is what the actual file looks like when you save it on your computer. This is the file we're going to put into the folder that we created on the server. So coming back here now to our empty folder, and we can trace the path, public HTML, like we saw in the FTP client, VTG7, that's the active folder that we're in. Now we're going to upload that quick start zip file. So upload, and we're going to browse for the file here. And I'm in my local folder, like where I've saved the file from the web. So I have Joomla, SmartAddons, Joomla templates, and the Joomla template that I'm in from SmartAddons is iMovie, and I want the quick start. So I choose that and open, and now here you see it's uploading that. So we'll return once it's finished uploading. Now it's complete, and click back, and now we can see the file is here. So now that we have uploaded the quick start file to the folder where we will install the website, we need to unpack that. We need to unzip it. And so we right click here and we choose extract. And we just accept that path and click the extract files button. And so had we not done it this way, we would extract all those files locally and then upload them. The difference is that it takes significantly more time to extract them locally and upload them, because this is more than 8,000 files. And so we'd have to upload these 8,000 files to the server. Now that we've uploaded the quick start file, we're going to create a database for the site. So we'll click on MySQL Database Wizard, and I'm going to name the database for this site. And I'm going to name the user. So you create a database, and then you have to create a user for that database. This is not a user that you'll be logging into like a site. This is basically what creates the relationship between the database and the Joomla website. I keep it simple by having both of them use the same name, and then I have a password that I've created. In making the password, you need to have uppercase and lowercase and at least one number and at least one unique symbol, like the number sign or dot, things like that, or a dash. And then you enter the password twice. It has to be the same password, obviously. Then you click Create User. and then you assign the user all privileges and click next step. Now that the database is set up and the user is set up, it's time to actually install the Joomla website. So to install the Joomla website, we need two things. We need the main domain that's on this hosting account and the folder that we will be installing into. And so let's create a new browser. And in this new browser, we'll put the domain name for the account. That's new.ld-e.com. And the folder is vtg7. And then when we do that, we get the Joomla installation wizard. And so this is what guides us step by step in setting up this site. And so I will name this site. And I'll put my admin email and my username. And my password. And be sure that you are storing this stuff in a document somewhere, because if you lose this, you have a problem. And so now we click next to go to the next screen. Oops. So here we have to put the password twice, here and here. Now you can ignore this entirely, because what it's doing is asking you if you want to update the password. You will not be entering this password manually, so just click and ignore it. Now we're in the database configuration, and so we had made leave the host name as it is, leave the database type as it is. In the username, remember we set this to vtg7, and the database name as well. And whatever password you had set previously for setting up the database, you need to use that password now in this field. And you leave everything else alone. Then we click next. And what that just did, and by the way, ignore this as well. What that just did when we click next is that it actually connected the database to the Joomla website that we're currently installing. As a protection, to protect myself from myself, I always click email configuration and include a password. This way I have a folder in Outlook where I store this, so in case for any reason I forget what a username and password I set up to log into the site, I have a record for myself. And you leave everything else as is, you click install, and what this is doing is installing Joomla and the actual and all of the demo content. The final thing you have to do in installing the site is you need to remove the installation folder. If you don't remove this, you can't go forward, and this will leave the site vulnerable to being hacked. So we remove this. And now you can either go to the front of the site that people see, or you can go to the back end where you administer. I always choose to go to the back end to first of all verify that it logs in correctly, and to be able to start doing updates and configurations. So I click Administrator, and I see my login is already there. I use this login and password pair, so it should actually work. But it didn't, so now I'll just go and copy and paste my correct password for here. And I'm in. Now this time I will say update password, because I want it to be able to have the updated password so I can always log into this site. As of this recording, I'm going to recommend you not do the Joomla update at this time. The quick starts do not have the updated patches for this version of Joomla, so until I advise you differently, leave this alone. Here we'll update the extensions, and just click this to select both and update, and they're both updated. So we go back to control panel and we'll see that all remains as the Joomla update that is advising about.